One time long ago on a Daily Fire, I shared that I could really tell the difference between someone who's going to become successful and those who will not. And I shared that that simple distinction is often that the persons who will succeed find a way to take joy in self-discipline. They know what they are doing is hard. They know what they are doing is going to take a long time to achieve. They know they have to will themselves to make it happen. And they know they're going to have to do that over and over and over, despite what other people think. They're going to stay self-disciplined and determined on their own path. But see, they take joy in that work ethic. They like it. There's a passion in the struggle that acknowledges it. They honor the struggle. Sometimes they even look forward to the challenge. They get excited by the fact that they're doing hard things because it's building, as my friend Paulo Coelho would call it, their personal legend. Hey, it's Brendon Burchard. It's Monday, and I think I've got an equivalent banger for you today. If that idea of having passion and joy within self-discipline resonates, I think this might be the flip side opposite of that in some ways. And that is, I can tell somebody who's going to succeed long term based on whether or not they make lots of excuses. So yes, it's Monday. You've got lots to do, but I can tell you, you've got a million ready excuses, as we all do, for why you won't do something this week. There's a million proper reasons, reasonable reasons, logical reasons, justifiable reasons why you won't take action this week. There's so many things to blame. There's so much going on in the world. There's so many people out to get you. There's so much wrong with the economy or the world or some politics or something that you saw in one post somewhere that triggered you. Lots of reasons not to drive, to excel, to make it happen this week. And I've always noticed that those who make more excuses inevitably just never amount to their full potential. Not my desire for them, not your desire for them, not anyone else's expectation, to their own known potential. It's almost strange because people who make lots of excuses are in full awareness that those are excuses that are stealing from their own potential. It's like they can't help themselves, but they just keep making the excuses over and over and over. And sometimes you might not even know you're making excuses. It doesn't seem like that. It doesn't feel like that when you're making them. I certainly had to learn that when I was a teenager working with a boss who was just no nonsense. I mean, it was one of those bosses who didn't take any crap from teenagers, and it was very hard on me. And I worked in this office where I was literally sweeping floors, painting the outside of the building, trying to get paid, trying to get more hours to earn some money to buy a car. And it was a tough job. And he was no nonsense kind of person. And I learned I had a lot of excuses, but I didn't even know they were called excuses. You know, for example, I would talk poorly about other people at work. And he would say, hey, stop using their reality or how you feel about them or what they're doing here at work to laze around and not to keep your own, basically, standard of performance. Or I would ridicule others in that talking poorly. I would like, oh, well, you know, they're this or they're that or this is happening. He's like, that's wasted breath, he would say. I would complain. You know, this is hard. I don't know how to do this. What's going on? He goes, yes, and get it done anyway. Figure it out. Do it. And this was a time when, you know, we didn't coddle like we do today. We didn't approach people softly in this regard. We made them accountable. Instead of going, oh, you're right, it's hard. Let me make a safe space and let's take some time. Instead, it was like accountable. Hey, knock it off. You're on the clock. I'm paying you. Get to work. And I'm here to say I loved that reality. I'm glad I didn't grow up in a coddling culture so that we often have today, certainly in North America. And there's huge books written on this now. And it's just kind of sad when you read these things because you realize how often people just want to be able to make their excuses. and have everyone else around them support it. But as a leader, you can't do it. You got to call it out, have the difficult conversation. I also didn't know I was making excuses sometimes when I was delaying. I'd put off things. I'd put off things and doing the important things because there were other things that, I just had to deal with. See, this is what I call really fancy excuses. Fancy excuses are not doing your priorities because there's other things that are very important, Brendan. This is one of the great reasons people don't succeed. They can't stay focused on real priorities. Instead, they make excuses why they don't do the priority. Well, I can't do the priority of chasing my dream here because, Brendan, I have kids. I can't chase the dream because, I don't have this technology. I can't be a podcaster because I don't have that mic they all use. I can't do this because I don't have a publisher. I can't do this because I don't have a team. And all of those sound logical, and they have nothing to do whether or not in the next hour you take action. One of the great lessons I learned in my life is, hey, everyone walks a hard path. The truth is, every person has gone through some kind of hardship, pain, suffering. It's part of the human story. The struggle will always be there. There will always be mean people and bad things that happen to all of us. It just is inevitable over the lifespan. It truly is inevitable. And so if there's going to be suffering, if there's going to be struggle, it's true that every single person right now in this moment, this week, your Monday, can say, I had this thing happen, so I can't do this today. And we could pick any moment of difficulty, any time throughout life, and it would sound justified. I can't do this important thing today because, when I was 15, this thing happened to me. Oh, because last week I got screamed at by the boss. Or, 4 months ago, she broke up with me. Or, 5 years ago, this person cheated. Or, all of those, I'm not being facetious, they're good reasons. In fact, you could make a reason right now. We could just do a collective pity party right now of all the reasons that we shouldn't do anything today. And in fact, if you published all those reasons, they'd look fairly logical in this modern age. Those things would look fairly logical outside of personal development. Those things would look very logical outside of leadership. But when you own your truth and you own your day and you are personally accountable and you understand the true depths of personal power, there's a self-reliance in this day today where you have the will to do things despite the complaints, despite the excuses, despite the circumstances, despite the realities. And I don't say that in any way that's harsh. I say it in truth. Often I have a segment of customers, friends, students, clients who are super into spirituality and wellness, and they might be way off the grid in this. And they'll be like, but Brendan, it's all about just peace and allowing and empathy. And you have to understand those realities that people have been through so much. They need therapy, which I agree. They need a coach, I agree. They need personal development. They need time. They need space. They need safety. I'm like, sure, all great. But no matter how far you go back, no matter what difficulty you process, here you are on a Monday. What are you going to do? That is the ultimate shift into maturity. That's the ultimate shift into higher consciousness. You realize you could make a million excuses. This person treated me bad. This thing happened. All of them would be right, but you're still faced with this day. And this day, you make healthy choices. This day, you take command of yourself and you will yourself to do what is the next right action of integrity. Yes, it was unfair how I grew up. Yes, I was beaten up. Yes, we were poor. Yes, people mistreated me. Yes, I got smacked around. Yes, I went broke. Yes, someone cheated on me. Yes, somebody stole from me. Yes, lots of people have lied, cheated, and stole from me. Way too many people. Lots of terrible things have happened. People have accused me of this, they've done that, all these things. That has nothing to do with whether or not I did my daily fire today, does it? I'm here with you right now in this space of time. Got lots of reasons where I guess I can't do the thing I promised I would do. No. All of the things sitting over on that desk that you can't see as I'm talking to you now, just a long checklist of all these things I have to do. And then I look over my battle board and I have all these things coming up. I could look at all of that and say, oh, don't you understand though? I'm overwhelmed. I guess I can't even do the thing I promised, my daily fire. No, overwhelm is also an excuse. We make it safe, but it's still an excuse. I'm overwhelmed. Okay. Listen, I want to let you all know, when I stand backstage in a huge cavern of an arena where there's 20,000 people out front of that, stage curtain, or that stage that's literally 95 or 150 feet tall, and I'm about to go out to an audience of 20 or 30,000 people who probably a very small number of them even know who I am or know my story, who have extraordinary expectations because they know I'm the keynote, I'm the headliner, I'm the guy they all brought in, I'm the guy that the company chose to buy books for all of them. And here in this moment, I'm back there. I could say, oh, this is overwhelming. There's a lot of energy in here. It's loud out there. It's cold back here. I'm already sweating. My clothes don't feel quite right. My shoes don't fit quite right. There's all these things. I could make a million excuses and people could accept it. But it doesn't matter. Time to go out on stage. Your overwhelm, your difficulties, your past. I can tell you, those are all good excuses. And they're good reasons. But at some point, you have to look at life and say, do I keep offering all these reasons to explain my underperformance? Or instead of being a person who's a reasons to explain person, you become a drive to excel person. You keep the drive alive despite the hardships, the circumstances, the unfairness, the awfulness that can be situations and life. That was a breakthrough for me. Getting as a teenager to look, I work with two bosses back to back who just basically wouldn't accept the ready excuses of a teenager. Now, I had other teachers who are like, oh yeah, that's so bad. And they met me with empathy, but you can meet someone with empathy and still demand they get stuff done. You can give them space, safety, let them talk, be there with them, be present, be of service, and still go, what's the next right action of integrity for you? What's going to get you healthy? What's going to get you moving forward? What's going to get you progress? What's going to get you momentum? All right, now do that. Let's focus now at this moment, not what happened to you all those years ago, now. Now. See, part of the most difficult thing with coaching, with therapy, I would say with spirituality, with everything we endure in life is the ability to get here now, to be alive now. I understand people have to go through a big path sometimes to learn how to get fully present, to find emotional freedom in the day, in the moment, in their life. I don't pretend those things aren't necessary, nor do I pretend those things are easy. That's why I'm such a ready proponent of people working with other professionals, a therapist or a coach or some type of specific mentor to help them break through. I get it. But what I do understand is if you tolerate yourself making excuses month after month, week after week, I'm here to tell you your drive to excel will go away. The more reasons you justify not to act, the more your brain starts to believe it and goes, I guess I'm a person who doesn't act. As soon as you say all the reasons, there's all these reasons I can't chase my ambition, be assertive out in the world, take command, do things, try things, experiment, put myself out there. The more you say you can't do those things, the more you train your mind, your body, your soul. The more you cage yourself into a certain kind of reality, the more you trap yourself in the wrong time zone. of the past. But sometimes being mature, being conscious, doing the stuff of personal development says, let me look this day head on and go, what's necessary? What do I need to do to turn this around? What do I need to do at this stage of my life? What decisions do I need to make? What do I need to do? I'm not going to delay anymore. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to pretend that overwhelm and stress and anxiety aren't also part of everyone else's life who is also trying to move forward. And I'm not going to start being so different. On the days of victory, oh yeah, that's me. I'm awesome. I'm great. Look at me. And then on days of defeat, oh, well, I guess it's allowed. I guess I'll just stop. No, victory or defeat doesn't matter. What matters is this day, this moment, this day's priorities, the next right action of integrity, what's going to bring you greater health, vibrancy, joy, contribution, forward momentum. See, what matters so much more is not your last chapters, but your next ones. Not the last 5,000 steps of hardship. Those are real. But guess what? You got 5,000 steps ahead of you. And if you choose to keep stepping forward, you inevitably get closer to your full potential. You inevitably get closer to the moment now. But if you stop and you keep backtracking and pointing at all these experiences and reasons that you can't do anything now, you get stuck in the wrong time zone. I know 50-year-olds who are stuck in dramas and traumas and difficulties of their 20s and 30s. And of course, we can justify those, can't we? There's good reasons for it. Something bad happened to them. It was awful. They got stuck. But there are also other people who go, hey, I get it. I'm stuck. Let me raise my hand. Let me ask for help. Let me study personal development. Let me explore it. But let me tell you this, no matter how far you explore, no matter how many podcasts you listen to, no matter how many books you have on your shelf, read and unread, no matter how many daily fires you listen to, no matter how many courses you take, no matter how much you do in personal development, it all comes back to this moment now to ask, what's the next right action of integrity for me based on what I desire for my life in the future, based on what makes me feel better, based on what's better for me. See, we have to look at each day and go, yeah, despite all those hardships, today, I got this day. Today, I can do something. Today, I can learn. Today, I can share. Today, I can ask for help. Today, I can explore. But I can do something to move my life forward. I can do something that's healthy for me today. Even if it's just get up, get a shower, talk to somebody, go to work. It doesn't have to be these grand things that we pretend that all achievers are doing. I don't have to do 50 million things in the morning to get going to work. I have to decide, is this day going to be a day full of reasons that all explain why I'm underperforming, why I'm not getting ahead, why everybody else has it so much easier than me? Because those things are all easily explainable, all true. Or is today a day that's of purpose, of intention? And I'm going to activate my drive to excel. Some of you know the highest level of membership in Growth Day and my private inner circle is called Ultra. And in Ultra, I set this very simple expectation that job number one is to summon the best of who you are and what you got each day. That's the job. It's the hardest job. There's days you don't want to. There's a million reasons. I can be on the couch right now crying my eyes out, my head covered in Doritos. I can tell you, I could justify it. And you'd be like, Brendan, you went through that in your life? Let me go get you some more Doritos. You need some beer? What do you need, my brother? Let me go get it for you. Anyone could see me failing, falling, succumbing to my own sadness, my own inadequacies, my own stuff. And I'd be completely justified. And I wouldn't have recorded this for you today if I sucked into that story, if I got trapped in those time zones. No, what's my mission? My mission is to help my friends, you, my strivers, make self-improvement a way of life. That's why I'm recording this. That's why I'm here. This mission, this priority, do daily fire, that purpose, that mission is bigger than my last chapters. That mission, that purpose, that drive, that desire to contribute, to give, to do something is bigger than yesterday's realities and excuses. I don't make reasons about the past. I make plans about today, baby. You got me? That's why it's a great day to grow. That's why it's Monday. That's why we do the work here. We're different here. We are striving in the moment to be our best, to summon our best, to make this day count, to have a great week, to do the things that have to be done to finish Friday. I don't do Friday finishers just because it sounds cool to say. I do it because this week matters. It's Monday. Make this week matter. No excuses, plans, execution, the drive to excel. You are building a longer-term future right now. You are designing your destiny. You are architecting your future. Or you're just sitting around with a bunch of excuses, or you're just going through the motions, or you're just allowing yourself to placate yourself in contentment or sadness or other reasons that you can't have what you really deserve, what you can really achieve. And I'm here to be and share that like I had two mentors when I was a teenager sharing that reality with me. Brendan, you're accountable. Brendan, I hear you, but get this done. That accountability, that acknowledgement that I still had the personal power to overcome what I was facing. I had the personal power to take the steps forward, that I had the responsibility to my coworkers, to the promises I made, to my family, and to my desires and dreams to buy that car, to develop a skill, to get a job, to one day to make a difference. All of the choices that I made in favor of my future versus in favor of my excuses is why you got to hear this Daily Fire today. I appreciate you being here. It's Monday. Now go do the work because every day is a great day to grow.